Okay, everyone, before we start this brand new episode of Elevator Pitch, just want to let you know that we are officially on YouTube. Oh my God, you asked and we listened. So like and subscribe to @Elevator Pitch Pod. We got a few old episodes up there. We got Robert Eggers with Will Angus. We got Sinners with other Will Peters.
Yeah.
Orlando Bloom, Rusty Featherstone.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford, 1989. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And we're going to add a few more up there. But yeah, you guys asked, we listened. We are going to officially be going YouTube as well as Spotify. And you're going to see our faces.
Whether you like it or not.
All right, let's start the show. Elevator Pitch is back. We are talking about the one man who exists in movies. I don't even know what that means, but this is the only podcast on earth pitching fake movies in the future to Tom motherfucking Cruise, Will Peters,
Hey.
and the man applauding, very special guest of the podcast, long time coming, comedian, actor, writer, stuntman.
No.
Okay, never
Soon
mind.
to be?
Soon to be.
though.
I
Yeah.
mean, probably. Maybe.
Ryan Goldsher, everyone.
Hey.
For you.
Thanks for having me. I'm very excited. It was my idea to do this.
Was it really?
To do this movie.
Oh,
You were ready to talk Tom.
Yeah. Will asked what movies coming out would you want to do, and I'm let's just say I'm in cruise control. Let's just say
You're impossible build.
I'm impossible pilled. I'm a huge Tom Cruise fan.
you're American
For
made.
you.
I'm American made.
You're interviewing with a vampire soon.
I'm just frankly the last samurai. I'm defending.
You
this.
are. You are the last samurai. I can always say that.
That would have been a way cooler way to introduce this. We're here with the last samurai. The last samurai of TikTok, Ryan Goldsher.
We're here with Rain Man himself, or his Rain Man's brother.
I'm here with Rain Man.
Charlie Babbitt,
brother.
No big deal. I know the names.
God. Yeah, that's cool.
Mission Impossible, Final Reckoning.
Final Reckoning.
We are.
Which also I don't think was supposed to be the name.
Yeah,
No, this was the Dead Reckoning Part 2.
presumably, yeah.
Because who on earth goes, here's part 1 and then here's final?
And now Dead Reckoning, I think they've like fully rebranded the posters to be like Dead Reckoning. There was no part 2.
Are they Mandela affecting us?
I think that they're like trying to convince us
part
there was
1?
never a
Are
part
you
1.
crazy?
Yeah.
Like, you guys don't get it.
We never said that.
Vanessa Kirby was never in these movies.
No. You can take her out.
It's funny because, like, I was thinking about it, it's kind of to do with that, where it's like this movie is existing kind of between two worlds, where it's like they make the first one, they're like, people want part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, and
Yes.
then people were like, fuck no, and then they're like, all right, never mind, Final Reckoning, because they
Yeah.
did this again with, what was the other part 1, part 2, like Wicked was the other one,
yes.
Dune
Yeah.
was the other one, was Dune
Yes.
part 1, and then it became Dune, and they Mandela affect us, yeah. It's just,
Thunderbolts, the new Avengers.
That was crazy. Wait, so can we start spoiling the movie or we have to wait?
Yeah, I mean, we can get right into
I mean, if you want to go like
No,
right
I
to
just-
left on it.
I just don't want to break the form of the podcast and start saying stuff about the movie.
No,
keep just rock
we've
with
never
it.
had a form to this podcast.
You've never had a following to this podcast.
I think the reason, I mean, after seeing it, it's so obviously like supposed to be like Mission Impossible nostalgia movie.
Yeah,
We're literally it's montages of all the movies throughout the movie.
Okay, so I liked the first one. It's really frenetic, yeah, both like the quick cutting.
Oh, the first montage.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, by the way, I went to a movie theater and the movie was like an 8 p.m. and I was like, 8:15 or something like that. And I walked in at like 8:11 and it was on the blue screen with like the AI was talking. And is that when the movie started or did it start before that?
Yeah, that's when that was the first shot,
that's like right at the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I like the first montage. But
Yeah.
then
Yes.
they kept going back.
So many. And the other thing they're gaslighting us about in this movie, and they did in the last one, they keep pretending like we know this Damien character.
Oh, Gabriel?
Gabriel.
Yeah.
I thought it was Damien. But yeah,
Well, Damien's
Damien
the
is
other guy.
Damien is
He's from the Apostles, right?
yes. Or Damien, I think, is the name of Philip Seymour Hoffman's villain.
Oh, you're
Yes,
right. He's
yes,
not.
yeah.
Yeah.
But they're gaslighting us. Like this Gabriel guy that's not from these other movies.
No.
But he knows, he's familiar with the rabbit foot,
They're-
apparently. I have no idea what that meant.
Yeah. They're like it's arguably I'm not even. It is my biggest like flaw with the movie is how like
Interconnected?
deep, how deep they're getting into the weeds with past films with
dude.
stuff where it's like you don't need to go there. You don't need to do this. You don't need to explain the rabbit's foot. You don't need to make Gabriel like he's been working behind the scenes
completely
since
unnecessary,
since
yeah.
the TV show in the 60s.
Yes, I was like
Gabriel's brother was the boom up in
I've seen-
1963.
I've seen
Flashback.
every Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah.
And then they're like, you remember Gabriel, right? I'm like,
I don't know the plot of these fucking movies.
I don't think so.
I don't think I know Gabriel.
Well, it's so far that that what's his name? I'm gonna scroll down for a second.
Here he
Will
goes.
cut.
Nope.
Shea Wiggum as Jasper Briggs / Jim Phelps Jr.
Yeah.
Son of John Voight,
Yeah.
which we should start doing on this podcast. Where I'm like, don't you know, I'm the son of John Voight, and you're like, that changes everything about this guy. Doesn't make any sense.
There were
Yeah.
so many callbacks to things that didn't matter to anybody.
No.
Like, this guy was from the first movie. Like, all right,
cool.
I wasn't born for the first movie. Like, no one seeing this is like, no way.
Holy shit.
That's
the guy.
Can I ask you guys before we dive in deeper, what's your rankings, if you could?
Yeah, we were actually riffing on this earlier.
We were pretty aligned.
Very, very, very aligned.
Yeah.
So throw a wrench in this right here.
Oh, you might. Okay, so can I go top to bottom? Number one down. Yeah. Number 1, 5.
Okay.
Rogue Nation.
Rogue Nation's your favorite one.
Favorite one.
It's
Wow.
mine. It's mine as well.
That's your favorite one too?
I love it.
The perfect tying of stunts and twists, and like the story made so much sense. Didn't feel convoluted. Like
It's not
Rogue
too
Nation
complicated.
Is Airplane Hang?
Airplane Hang. Yeah.
What's the other one that I actually like a little more than Airplane Hang?
probably?
in the
stunt?
movie?
Is it the one where
water-
he's holding his breath under
Yes.
for 10 minutes? Yeah, that one freaks me the fuck out.
Yeah.
That's really good.
That
The
was good.
opera sequence is exceptional.
Oh,
So
yeah, the
good.
Hitman.
So cool.
Yeah.
The twist at the end of like how he gets the
was that
villain
one?
is that he memorizes all of the codes. So he destroys the drive, but he's like, you can't kill me because I memorized everything.
Oh, yeah, dude.
It's like brilliant.
I watched it a month ago.
Yeah.
I was like,
that's my favorite. 4 is my second favorite. Ghost
Okay.
Protocol, climbing on the building with the gloves.
Burj Khalifa.
Burj Khalifa. Then I'll go 6, Fallout,
Okay.
which we agreed on.
I'm
Then I go
tracking with you so far.
3, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
I'm going to hurt her, Ethan. It's like not even mine. Those Tanners.
Yeah.
On our episode last week, Tanner like pulled off like an incredible Philip Seymour Hoffman, like, but not the screaming "Where's the rabbit foot?" He did like the second part where he's like, I'm gonna hurt her.
Yeah, he did the reserve. It's Philip Seymour Hoffman. That's even scarier.
The only thing I say is Philip Seymour Hoffman is if you knew the answer to your question, then why ask it? Big fuck. That's the only one I do.
The Master Special. Good for you.
Can you do any Charlie Wilson's War? I brought that one up last.
No,
Have you seen that one?
I've never seen that.
He's like, I was in Helsinki.
That's my third favorite one because that one is a reaction to the second one. The second one is a dumpster fire of crazy stylistic choices.
Yeah.
So, anyways, just to recap my rankings: 5, 4, 6, 3, 7, 8, 2, or 1, 2.
Okay.
Drop that in the comments, people.
Yeah.
In order.
Yeah. I'm tracking with you up until I would go 5, 4, 6.
Say the names of them.
No. Rogue Nation, Ghost Protocol, Fallout 1.
Yeah.
Blank, Mission Impossible, Mission Impossible 3,
Yeah.
Dead Reckoning, Final Reckoning 2.
Ooh.
I would go 2, right?
What?
Final Reckoning is your second to least favorite.
Wait.
Yeah. Final Reckoning is my second to the bottom.
You liked.
I like Dead
You
more.
like DR1 better than DR2 or FR.
DR and F.
I like DR a little.
telling us again.
I like DRP1 a little more than F1.
The entity is changing our minds.
Oh my god.
And though I will say 2 is it is a mess.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just turn on YouTube the 8-minute chase.
Oh, with the motorcycles.
Oh my god.
Through Sydney.
That movie
You
is
can have a hell of a night.
I like the samurai when they're off the motor.
Yeah.
Are you counting that part of it? Yeah.
Let's take it to the final 16. Yeah. Yeah.
cannot believe that they were able to continue this series after 2.
Okay, so that's like what I was defending 2 over the weekend at Will's bachelor party, actually. Shout out to Will.
Hey, thanks. Thank you.
Bachelor.
His great bachelor
Was it
party.
in LA?
It was in Idlewild.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
With the dog mayor.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
didn't meet him this week.
Has Mayor Max gotten a shout on this podcast yet? Because he's a fucking fraud.
Yeah, yeah. Max,
Legislatively, hasn't done much for that city.
his
Everyone
Project
knows-
25 is dark, really dark.
Everyone knows the entity runs Mayor Max.
Yeah,
That's
there you go.
true. He's a psyop.
But I was defending it. I think the lowest by far is Final Reckoning or Dead Reckoning 1.
Is your
Well,
least
not-
favorite?
yeah, not.
That's your least favorite.
Yeah, I really had a bad time. I think it was a lot of expectations / the audience was like really drunk and interrupting it. So like it's not all the movie's fault, but to me that was like when they were that's their version of like No Time to Die. And I don't want to get into that, but like it's like kind of like it was so intentionally like we're going plot over stunts in this, and we actually showed you the best stunt before the movie came out.
Yeah.
That I really didn't like it. But so
Yeah, I
that's-
could maybe flip Final and Dead.
yeah. Oh, but
they're
you guys went top to bottom, right?
did.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll go top.
Yeah,
Fallout number 1, that's a pub play, but
Okay.
it's number 1. And then GoPro number 2.
Okay. It's beautiful.
And then I'm gonna be honest, I got 3 as number 3.
That's fine.
It's purely for, obviously, Where's the Rabbit Foot?
Yeah.
I like the Kerry Russell eye twitch thing. That's like one of the most horrifying shit I've ever seen in those movies.
That movie is so dark.
It's
Yeah.
really dark.
It was such an answer to the second one. Of
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
hey, that was crazy. That was stupid. Here's how like serious we can.
It
make
also
this
has
movie.
like the crude up twist too, where I'm like, oh shit, like I didn't see that one coming. But and then I'll go Rogue Nation as a close fourth there.
Okay.
And then what am I missing? Oh yeah, MI2. Like I understand that Rogue Nation is by far a better movie than MI2, but I really like Mission Impossible 2. I like the
crazy.
bad parts of it. I like the good parts of it.
when he like steps out and doves fly behind his head.
Yeah, dude.
I think
It's
What
crazy.
about he's on vacation? The free solo come. I rewatched. The only one I rewatched this week was Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah.
Oh,
My God, my palms were sweating. He's going Alex Honnold on the mountain there,
And they zoom in on his face. He's
and then he like fucks up.
Yeah. I think if it wasn't a Mission Impossible movie and if it was just like a
Yeah.
movie where Tom
Oh, I forgot
Cruise
about
was
one.
like where Tom Cruise was like freshly out of making Magnolia and he was like, I do whatever the hell I want now.
Yeah.
I think I'd like it more because it's in the same series as like followed immediately by 3. You're like,
Yeah.
that one's really different.
Yeah.
That one's weird.
Well, you know what's interesting? Mission Impossible 1, which is the Brian De Palma. Like everyone's like, oh, do you know where this franchise started? Like this movie's so innocent.
Yeah.
And then it has the break-in, which you see 85 times with flashbacks
Yes.
in the movie. But like that really wasn't high on any of ours. And that's such a generational thing. I
that's
think.
such a generational
Yeah.
thing.
I like it purely on De Palma's style.
Yeah,
I
like-
think its script is very weak.
Yeah, the Robert Town,
Yeah.
weak screenwriter.
It's a town script?
Yeah, man, I'm kidding. He's not, but yeah, that's a town script, brother.
That's unbelievable. I mean,
But-
I was telling you earlier where it was like the first Mission Impossible is purely like De Palma. You just-
Cruise.
it's like,
Yeah.
it looks incredible. And you're like, wow, that movie is so cool to look at, but the stunts are weak. And it's amazing to like look back and be like, to show somebody that movie and be like,
Yeah.
and they made 7 more of
But
these.
some of the coolest shit in any of them is the POV camera walk around.
Yeah.
the voiceover.
Yeah, I mean,
shit's
there's really cool stuff in that movie. But its script is like, if it was like anybody, if it was like Philip Noyce doing it instead of Brian De Palma, I think he'd be hurt.
Such a pull,
Okay,
man.
sorry, I'm just saying, Noyce couldn't carry that.
Anyway, should we talk
yours.
about
Cruise?
no.
About Ocho?
Well, the movie for a sec.
Sure, yeah.
Let's take-
let's talk
yeah,
Ocho.
Yeah, let's talk. Let's talk the
Ocho,
final
yeah,
act.
it's 8.
It's 8.
It
Yeah.
is, yeah.
My take, it ended so strong.
Yeah,
It does.
Act 2 and 3 are so good that I
glad we agree
forgave
on this.
a lot of its flaws.
yeah.
Why were there so many elements to this movie?
It's so
Why was there the CIA, the president,
Mm-hmm.
the Russians, his team, the villain, the entity? I was like, why? Like,
I have a
we
theory.
don't need all of those. We need
Okay.
like 3 of them.
yeah.
I got a theory.
Okay, my God.
Buckle up. No, I think that the Dead Reckoning Part 1, I keep confusing this, but Dead Reckoning Part 1, they were like, we're setting up the opus of these movies. It's going to have all these people. They plan out Nick Offerman, you're going to come in the second one. All these, like, they're like really plotting it out and stuff. And then they learned that they got smoked by Barbie and Oppenheimer, which kind of even like lengthwise, it's fine. They vary, but like much more simple movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Far more simple movies. What was the plot of Barbie again? To be honest with you, people were like, "That's $1 billion." Dead Reckoning Part 1. Go fuck yourself, man. And then I think that the reason that the beginning of that movie had so much plotting is because they were like, we need to figure out how to like make this movie simpler, but still make it make sense. And it seems like they built way bigger of a foundation than they ended up building a house.
Yeah, I was like,
yeah, but it's all about the stunts, obviously. That's what all these movies
100%.
are. So, yeah, I mean, Christopher McQuarrie is like, sorry, I'm so sorry, McHugh.
yeah,
Please.
McHugh, thank you.
Jeez.
He's obviously
He's a
like
friend
so
around here.
good at plotting movies, and it felt like he was almost bored with what these movies need, which is like something that he can do on autopilot. It feels like that might be a little insulting. I'm sorry, McHugh.
I love McHugh.
Yeah.
Hey, he's my best friend.
He's
I love this guy. I love this guy. That's my Tom impression.
put a couple of buckets of popcorn in this guy's hand. So let's go to work.
So yeah, I think they were like, let's just do our homework. You're not, let's just eat our vegetables in the beginning and then we'll have some fun. Right when Tremel Tillman came in, I thought the movie just took flight.
Yeah.
The
Submarine captain.
Yeah.
He's
great.
kind of stole the show.
He does.
So good in this
He
movie.
was so funny.
Yeah.
He pops every line. He like is firing around inside a sub, and you're like, dude, what the fuck? Like, don't shoot that deer. But he's electric, truly.
Yeah.
And there's a few people in the movie that like they don't punch correct, and like Hannah Waddingham. She doesn't really hit the mark, I think. She only has like 3 minutes to work with, but she goes in
got
there
a lot less.
She goes in there and I mean, I would do it too if presumably she was offered like $80,000 for like a day of work.
Yeah.
I'd take it tomorrow, and I'd take it yesterday. And
That's my point. I feel like she probably had a much larger storyline in the
Yeah, there's-
original. In Dead Reckoning Part 2, but then it became Final Reckoning. They're like,
and there,
sorry, Waddingham.
there's some members of the cabinet where you're like, this guy gets it, this guy doesn't get it.
Yeah.
But then like Tremel Tillman, he comes in there and he's like, every line, he just
Eats
makes
scenery.
a meal out of
Yeah.
these things. He's really, really fun.
Did you guys like the submarine stunt?
Loved it.
I loved it. I loved that
Yeah.
sequence.
I thought that was, they build these movies around the stunts.
Well, not this one, unfortunately, but
I think they
should.
did. I think
'Cause
they
stunts are
knew
great.
this submarine thing was in it because the whole story, like, sort of like, I was like, why are we?
Yeah.
The whole movie is like justifying why he has to go down there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think
When
they
you could
did come
really
up with
just
that.
send him down.
They could have
could
done that in
start-
the first act.
Yeah, the first
Get him
act
in
could
there.
be like,
Couldn't they get-
we
yeah.
have the location. You're going down.
Yeah.
It could be that because they're trying to make us forget that this is not the sequel to a movie. This is literally the part 2 of a movie.
They could have just said that.
They could just be like,
Yeah.
the movie ended. Here's the key.
Yeah.
Go to that submarine. Instead, they're like, in MI2.
Ethan.
Yeah. And you're like, yeah, and the thing rains. They got.
Like John Woo comes in, he's like, I'm going to change everything right now.
I'm amazed. I still can't believe Ving made it to the 8th movie. I mean, because he was hurting by 4. I mean, he's only in like 3 seconds of 4.
As soon as Ving goes for
time, Ethan. Ethan.
You know what's cool was that, I mean, you guys have both, I know you seen Dave, right?
No. The show?
The Kevin Kline movie?
Oh, also no.
Okay. Because his speech was just basically a 5-minute version of the "I would have taken a bullet for you" line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he's done that speech in like 2 sentences before.
Ving's a hero. Ving's the man.
Well, as soon as he started going fedora mode, I was like, this guy's not in good source.
It must be in Tom Cruise's writer. He's like, you got to give lines to Ving.
He's my best friend.
I think they
ripped that one off again.
Yeah.
He's my best friend. I love VR. He's this guy. He's unbelievable.
I like the submarine thing, but I will be honest with you that I think it went on too long, and I was not interested in it until he started taking off all of his equipment. I was like, I don't want to see Tom Cruise with a fucking oxygen tank on. Like, that's not interesting. I could go down there with one. I wouldn't live, but you wouldn't be as worried for me.
I think that might be their most unrealistic stunt. Is that possible?
Yes, dude. He goes up. He's like swimming up like
guy-
4 miles.
It might be the most unrealistic.
That was the other thing. It was
series,
too
yeah.
unreal. Like I was in on the plane. I was like, yeah, he could do that. Yeah. Just get to the other seat, man. But that one, I
Plane,
was,
but yeah, like you are at the bottom of the Arctic Ocean
Yeah.
with no gear. I'm
Yeah.
like,
You're suddenly basically naked. he has to go all the way up. But what they smartly try to convince us is that through the power of Haley Atwell's breasts, he can be brought back to life, and he can be 10 years younger.
You know what's funny
And
is that
they had me convinced.
yeah,
They really go in close, and
That's
I was
like
like, wow.
it's another one of the
Really
like
Haley Atwell right there.
yeah, sorry to interrupt you there.
No.
It's another one of like the Jennifer Connelly like we're almost fucking scenes where it's like head near breast,
Yeah.
hand grazes left boob,
It's a little bit
like cuddle in neck, no kiss.
It's a little like retirement home relationships. A little bit of just like, look, I can't really get it up like I used to get it up, but I'd love to hug you.
I'd love to just be with you. For
yeah,
a sec.
and I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I think this movie could have gone harder into like Top Gun Maverick. This movie made Top Gun Maverick look like porn, like in the terms of like the Connolly Cruise relationship. Like
Yeah, they
him and
go-
Atwell are like basically buddies.
I don't know, dude.
That
I think-
hug once.
I think they're hot and heavier in this movie than Cruise and Connolly were in
I actually have never
TG, although they had better chemistry in Top Gun for sure.
I've never thought of this really, but like there is sort of always a vague sexual tension in these movies that is never acted upon.
Dude, it's been going on for 30 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I guess I've never like vocalized that, but like yeah, there's just like always one hot girl that you're like, are they gonna end up? Oh, they don't.
You're
They
safe.
don't.
You're safe
Yeah.
here too. You can say these kind of things.
Okay,
on
okay.
mic. No, I rewatched Ghost Protocol. It's the same thing. Like he gives Paula Patton several looks.
Yeah.
But in that movie, it's like they both are like, and they're like, no, we shouldn't.
Back to business.
In a deleted scene, he does blow Alec Baldwin.
Deleted. Really? That didn't make sense to me.
Q, why did we cut that? McHugh.
I had a lot of fun doing
It's
that.
all about character at the end of the day.
I love it. My impression of Tom Cruise on the red carpet is him laughing at any question and then saying something really vague about movies.
Yeah.
He goes, it's just, I love making movies.
You're like, Tom, can you describe to me what it was like being on the Burj Khalifa with McHugh in your ear?
Projectors. Cameras. I mean, microphones. I love movies.
We've mentioned this before on the podcast. Glenn Powell said in a magazine interview that Tom Cruise sat him down in a movie theater and sent him in with like a 6-hour video of Tom Cruise talking directly to screen about making movies. How long was it again?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I know this.
You don't know the story?
No.
No, this happened a while ago.
I love anytime Tom is talking to the screen, I love it.
Cruise has a video apparently. I don't know. He might have shot
6 hours.
It's not 6. I might have just said that. It's more than a movie though. It's like 3+ hours. All right.
And like
It's him doing what you just did, but
Yeah.
getting really specific probably.
I love like when he does. Do you remember when him and McHugh came on and talked about how changing your TV settings?
Yes.
Yeah, the motion
Yeah.
smoothing thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, it's Tom Cruise. Your TVs are bullshit. Turn that shit off. You know he's never been in a TV show.
He's never been in a TV show?
Never.
He went right to movies. Wow.
I mean,
It's a hard stance he's taken, and he will never be in a TV show.
it is amazing when you like he was truly born to do this. Where it's like at
Yeah.
19, he goes straight from high school. He does like a couple months in New York, and he's like, I'm going to LA. And like within like 3 years, he's like the third lead in Taps, and he's a part of the ensemble, The Outsiders, and you're like, that never happens. Like
No.
it's unbelievable. Like he goes from basically not acting to being in Top Gun in like 6 years.
Oh,
yeah.
And it's like wow.
That's
amazing.
reason I'm such a big fan. I think he is the greatest movie star of all time. I think he's
got a great case for it.
no one has ever been relevant for 40 straight years.
Yeah.
Ever. He's 62 years old.
Yeah.
And he is the number one
Ving Rhames,
IMDb.
sorry.
Ving Rhames is
Yeah. It's
number
also relevant for 4
He'd like a
years.
chat.
He's
at
62 years old and he's the number one IMDb rank right now.
Are you serious?
What other 62-year-olds are famous to number one? Bigger than whoever, Timothy Chalamet. Tom Cruise, number one. 62.
Chalamet was sitting at the game with Mytel today. I just want to say that. Nothing more. But
Is that Miles Teller?
yeah.
Okay.
like from Project X. Like, yo, Mytel.
I've never heard it hyphenated like that.
I didn't make it up.
Yeah.
My friend's at Universal
He's
Pictures.
just like the Michael Jordan of movie stars.
Yeah, I mean, do you think that you've seen more Tom Cruise movies than any other movies?
I think
so for me. Yeah.
According to Letterboxd, I've seen 32.
Are you serious?
Wow.
Wow.
Because I mean, my dad is a huge fan. Obviously, my dad is in college, like when Tom Cruise could also have been in college, but he's like the star of movies.
Your dad was the slot receiver during
All the Right Moves.
All the Right Moves.
Yeah, he was Chris Penn.
My dad
Sad,
was
though.
at. There's a famous line in Risky Business when he botches his Yale interview or Princeton interview, and he goes, "Looks like it's University of Illinois." And like my dad went to the University of Illinois, like that's,
Because of that.
that movie took place kind of in our hometown, sort of like a couple towns over, but like. Yeah, he's been relevant for 3 generations.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's crazy.
My dad met Tom Cruise.
What?
Yeah, when they were right before they were shooting Color Money.
No way.
And,
Really?
and Newman.
85, 84.
A young Cruise and an older Newman.
And my dad.
Wow.
There's no photographic evidence. Yeah.
Matt's dad.
Yeah.
I love this guy.
1983. Yeah, I was. I'm gonna clip that, send it to him. But my dad's friend Albert, who's like not in movies, but he like had a film video company he still does, but like this is before there was like home video cameras, so he'd like shoot weddings and stuff like that.
Okay.
And he had the space in New York, and people, when they were doing theater and movies in New York, he'd like rent it out because he was kind of in the know with these people, like rent it out to like people to do rehearsal stuff. And there was a pool table in the space, and before they shot Color of Money, they rented out the space to practice pool. And my dad's friend Albert called my dad, and he's like, "Yo, you gotta come. Newman and Cruise are gonna be here this afternoon
shooting pool."
My dad is Paul Newman's like his favorite actor.
Oh yeah,
he almost got the Chris Penn role in All the Right Moves.
He would have been great. Your dad.
Your dad's an actor?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
But he would have been a great Chris Penn.
My dad's a lawyer. But yeah, my dad just walked in and like met them when they were shooting pool for a second, and then that was it.
That is just so cool.
I know.
That's Chicago, right?
There's a photo.
They filmed that in Chicago too.
Yeah, I don't know. They're in New York though for the rehearsal. I don't know. Yeah, it's all Chicago. You're right. It's all the Midwest. Yeah.
No, that because
awesome.
there's a famous pool hall they shot a lot of it at.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Chicago. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that movie is interesting.
Well, Will has not.
I watched
This is your
5
line.
clips today.
What clips did you watch though?
I watched like the opening basically when Paul arrives, when Eddie arrives, and he's like
that kid's
he's
got a
going around.
jackhammer on him.
Wolves of London is playing. He's singing along.
Thunder.
It's one like
that's
round
later.
the table
Yeah.
shot.
That's when they're at like the black pool hall.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
And then there was I watched a scene where it's Eddie and I don't is Vince is that Cruz's name? Okay,
got it on the shirt.
He's got the shirt. Yeah. And they're playing and Vince just kind of he kind of does a whole run on him, and then Eddie's like, "I'm getting out of here," and he's like, "Oh come on, it was stupid," you know.
Yeah.
And I love The Hustler. I mean, I love Paul Newman, and I like it's a travesty I haven't watched.
You're gonna love it.
That was like we're so what's the opposite of spoiled? Tainted now, but like that was such a cool thing that they did a remake of a movie, not even a remake,
It's a sequel, yeah.
a sequel like 20 years later. Like now that happens every month.
Well, without that movie, Top Gun Maverick never would have happened because it is like kind of that legacy sequel structure.
Yeah.
Of like 30 years later, a new person comes in, and the old person.
It is exactly that.
Yeah.
But instead, with Top Gun Maverick, instead of it being like him passing the baton to Miles Teller, it's like he's passing the baton to John Turturro in Color of Money. It's like it's going to Powell instead of where he's like, I'm actually going to give it to that guy, but
He does a lot of coke in the bathroom. Yeah. I think he's a winner.
Yeah, it's but definitely they're in the same vein, and it is. I mean, it kind of makes you think like, what if you could get Cruise and Chalamet in the room? Because to me, like right now, feels like the only comp of like somebody that could get there at this point is Chalamet, because it's like he's still young enough and he's already got the acclaim that he's had. I mean, he has more noms than Cruise has at this point. Like,
Yeah.
I think Cruise only has 2.
Cruise didn't even show up when he wasn't nominated for Top Gun to the Oscars.
Well, why would
Is it? Sorry, I'm not in cruise control right now, but
of course,
nominated for
Born
on the 4th of July.
Yeah.
Never
in
seen
which
it.
he was born
Never
on
seen
the 3rd of July. Fun fact.
so unbelievable.
And then was he nominated for Magnolia?
He's nominated for Magnolia and should have won. He's excellent. In that
He
movie.
is so
and then Jerry Maguire. He was nominated for Jerry Maguire.
He didn't win for Jerry Maguire.
He did not win for Jerry Maguire.
No, I mean, these are tough years. Like,
they're all good years. Yeah,
96 was probably. Who won in 96? The English Patient won Best Picture.
And it's not him.
No, Ray Fiennes.
Ray Fiennes also did not win. It's somebody really interesting because this just
Ben
came
Kingsley up. Or someone, or am I thinking of a different year?
This just came up where I was like, how did Cruise not win?
Would this be from 95 or would it be from 96?
I forget what Wikipedia does.
I think it was.
I got it here. It's Jeffrey Rush and Shine.
Yes.
He's great in that.
So it's Cruise, Fiennes, Jeffrey Rush, Woody Harrelson, People vs. Larry Flint, Billy Bob for Sling Blade.
Oh,
Billy Bob's good.
That was Billy Bob's breakout.
Yeah. Well, his breakout was more Landman, but I think that was his first breakout.
Yeah. His real breakout is Landman. Yeah.
Wait, but should we reel it back to future Cruise now?
Yeah,
Future Cruise.
If I say like the words "The Firm," I feel like we'll be off here for like.
Yeah, because basically what we've done here thus far is we've waxed poetic about past Cruise.
Yeah.
We've talked about.
We didn't get into my run though, which we'll save for the sequel podcast. 90s Cruise.
90s Cruise is epic Cruise. But for like when you're looking at the Final Reckoning, the one thing I couldn't stop thinking of throughout the movie is that it's like, it's amazing, and this ties into future Cruise. It's amazing that Cruise at 62 looks like he does and is doing what he's doing here.
He's in a pair of fucking briefs underwater there.
Yeah, and he looks incredible. My dad is a few years older. They look similar, but not the same. But to me, it was pretty clear. Like, I mean, he can't keep doing this. He can't keep getting away with it. It felt like to me, because
You got to trust him one last time though.
I did for this movie, and he was right. But it felt like when he had to deliver dialogue, it felt like he was like, I gave up that a long time ago. Like, it felt like he had given everything he had to the two stunts, and he was like, it was like him and McHugh are going through the script, and he's like, so this is the page, and like, that's Luther's line now. That's Benji's line now.
Yeah.
Give that to Gabriel. That's his line now. Like, anytime it's like,
Give
Ethan,
the guy from Top Gun.
Ethan, we really need you to say something. He's like, that's Greg Tarzana's line now.
There was so much. I don't mean to take you off track, but there was so much speaking in this movie.
There was a lot, way more than they needed,
And a lot of whispering. They're like, it's a lot of like puttering and murmurs, as Blank Check would say, where they're like, okay, so we're in the entity, and we're not gonna find this.
Yeah.
And you're like, I can't. What the fuck are they talking about?
They didn't. I think they lessened the entity in this movie.
and I like the entity. I think it's kind of smart.
I feel like we're the only two guys who like were like cool on the AI villain.
I was like, that's smart, and that's like, I think they were like, they made that movie 2020. That was his whole COVID.
Yeah.
Like, it was COVID movie making, and like they were way ahead on how far AI was going to get.
listen, that's
And
what
they were like, yeah, it's going to control the radio. It's going to control your headphones. It's going to control the screens. It's like, oh, that's
as we learned in this
smart.
movie, Tom Cruise is smarter than the entity.
That's right.
I mean,
Is that what the entity would want us to say on this podcast?
He would. He's planted that a long time ago. I just gendered the entity. Can you believe me? I will say that my only thing with the entity,
gendered the entity.
the only thing I'll say about the entity is like when you look at Dead Reckoning, like you see all these different things the entity
Dead
can.
gender reckoning.
You can see all these things that the entity does, like on the cameras, like it's like changing the faces of people and like people, like the entity has a lot more tricks in Dead Reckoning.
No tricks in this time.
Final Reckoning, it's really just like launch codes.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. You're
Get those launch codes.
You're totally
Why
right.
McHugh is really smart is because it's not that like most people would use AI. There's a couple bad AI movies that have come out in the last few years that have really like come and gone. Like the way he used it in this movie is really smart, where it's like, no, it's about the expectations of like the evil in humanity versus how hard it is to do the right thing. Mm-hmm. And that kind of reflects on Ethan Hunt's character in this movie. So it's like actually I think really well thought out.
Yeah.
That's why it like kind of works for me.
And also like, I liked this movie.
Yeah,
Like,
it is really
put it on
fun.
record.
It gets bogged down with a couple like plot points. I don't think the president needed to be in it, maybe at all. I think definitely the CIA did not need to be in it. I didn't care about that plot at all.
I thought the president had a good counterbalance at the end of it though.
That was a good arc with the you got to pick. Oh, I
Yeah, 'cause
love
the whole-
how they would not say which U.S. city she was going to buy.
Yeah, I was like Milwaukee.
Madam President,
It's actually
are you sure you
Indiana.
want to bomb a U.S. city? They never said which one. I forgot about that.
I'll do it, but only because I don't like that U.S. city. It's my least favorite U.S.
'Cause, like,
city of all of them.
The thesis of Tom Cruise is do not offend anybody.
Yeah.
So he like, if you remember in Top Gun, they don't say what country they're
Yes,
fighting.
yeah.
You don't see their skin.
We're gonna get them. They're
did.
done.
The enemy. That's what they.
That's where the last movie fucked up, though, is they made the villain and the plot more important than the stunts. I mean, like Top Gun Maverick, it's like such like there's no villain in the movie. You know what I mean?
No, there's a task.
Yeah.
The villain is fear.
But these like all these movies are all task oriented too, except for Dead Reckoning Part 1 and except for like the first up to the submarine in this movie. And then
Yeah.
it becomes a task movie.
Yeah.
And that's when we like it. I thought the plane, which we haven't talked about yet,
Is unbelievable.
was some of the most elite shit I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah.
And by far some of the best stunt work these movies have ever done.
I just couldn't even believe it.
I
Yeah.
could not believe what I was watching.
I did not even understand what I was looking at. I couldn't believe that they clearly did film this somehow.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how.
Yeah.
I don't know where they were hiding like his safety
Yeah.
nets.
I
But,
think
like,
that's the one CG is they take the wire out of it.
I think that's really it.
But like, dude, I'm still like, if he's hanging on this fucking plane, like, and he's swinging around, that is the most uncontrollable environment I can ever imagine. There's no nets, like you said.
Yeah.
There's a propeller right there.
I know.
It's
It really was one of the most amazing stunts.
The big picture said that like I think Fennessy was like I was convinced at parts of the scene like that he was
gonna
going to die.
Yeah.
And I haven't felt that way in a movie in a long time, but while I was watching I was like, we're gonna watch him die. Like they're gonna kill him in real life here.
Yeah.
And we all have to sit with that.
It
Yeah.
was
That's a lot of pressure.
Should have put
unreal.
Ving up in that plane. That would have scared the shit out of everyone.
I'm right here, Ethan.
He's in the back.
I thought we killed you 2 hours ago.
I've been in the plane the whole time. They also didn't show Ving dying because they're bringing him back.
I mean, you gotta have a
They
Luther,
didn't, right?
a
Yeah.
Luther spin-off series.
They didn't show him dead. He's coming back.
Do you think he like takes off?
You think a silly bomb can take me?
You think he takes off his mask? It's actually Wolf Blitzer under there. We're like, oh shit.
Oh, in general, I'm actually not a fan of the mask takeoff.
So this is a hot topic: is mask or no mask? I'm such a big fan of masks.
Oh,
in
I
these
knew you would
movies.
have
Yeah.
that take. I'm pretty
So funny,
anti-mask,
dude.
Every movie they do the mask. I'm like,
My only problem with the mask is that I think that certain movies go harder than others. It's
They
like,
do. This is a light mask movie.
yeah, this was a really light mask movie, and
only one, right?
it's just in the beginning. Yeah, it's
That's
just
it.
that early mask.
Is that a double mask or no?
It's a double masker.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Cruise peg mask. I think. I
yeah,
think they
because
both
Cruz
pull
does
off-
peg or wait, no, they're both prisoners and then
Yeah.
they're not.
Yeah.
But they don't take another one off after that.
No.
No,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just they both take a
should do
mask
that.
off.
That'd be cool.
And but yeah, it's like it's one of those things where it's like the series at a certain point was like, I guess we do this every time.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing where you're like, yeah, I mean, you don't really if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, you know. But
I think it works every time.
Yeah, I mean,
it
I-
also deflates the entire idea of these movies where just everyone could be anyone. But
yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I freak out about. I'm like, because it just is like this golden key of like, and it wasn't him.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
At any point.
It's like
And I'm
Wolf Blitzer, bang, it's over when I
Yeah.
say it's over. Dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun, dun.
I just think that a lot of times they kind of shoehorn it in. We're like, and here's your mask.
Yeah.
And this one, they're like, let's get it out of the way in the first 5 minutes.
That's exactly
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
they did, which I appreciate. And then they also always do this message will destruct in 5 seconds.
I like that too.
Yeah.
That's good.
I like that better than
I
the
think
mask.
Crude Up has the best line reading of that in 3.
Oh, really?
For some reason,
I
I,
don't
think
remember
he's
it.
so good. He's like, I'm Billy Crudup, and this message will self-destruct in 3 seconds.
he
It's like
say?
a 1 hour photo camera or something
oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Those are, I like those.
Yeah.
Do you like Vings at the end? Where he tied it back. He was like, I love you, Ethan.
I love you,
this,
Ethan."
This message will self-destruct.
Now fucking way from the grave. Yeah, I mean, we've talked a lot of Mission Impossible, our favorite traits.
Yeah.
But with Cruise, I think that watching this, I was like, this, to me, this really did feel like the end of this era of Cruise. And as I was trying to figure out what to pitch to him, I couldn't figure out. It makes sense that Doug Liman would be like, let's get his ass up in space.
Are they doing that though?
I don't know if he'll ever do that.
Because SpaceX is now politicized. That's who they were working on with this movie.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And he's not political.
He's not. He would never do it.
Like it makes sense to put him in space in the sense where it's like he is no longer human. He has transcended the plane of humanity. He is honestly an entity himself.
Yeah.
He's not the entity, of course.
He
but
is now,
he-
or he can.
He could be.
Well, he could be,
He
yeah.
could control it if he wanted. Anyway, but it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't know what you pitch him next. I'm curious to see what he does with Inarritu.
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 It's supposed to be a comedy.
Is it really? I don't know much about it.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone does.
Yeah, it's. I know it's still untitled Alejandro Gonzalez, film, and the cast looks good, but it's one of those things where I'm like, because I'm also curious. It's hard for me to imagine that he can go back to that, pre-2000 cruise too. It kind of feels like he shut that off. He left that behind with Magnolia. He got out everything and he said, "Now I never do that again.
Yeah.
Bring me Woo.
That comes to
Bring
my
Woo in here."
Get Woo.
Yeah.
Get me Woo. That comes to my pitch, so I'll save that. But that exact sentiment is what derives my pitch.
Good. Okay.
So
yeah.
just stay
It's
tuned.
tough. I don't know.
And also, these movies are sort of, like Top Gun Mav, and I would argue this one too. They're all like kind of about himself in a lot of these ways, like a commentary on himself. And I think that it's like, what's the commentary now?
I think he from 2000 on, in the early 2000s, he had the PR issues
He did.
with World of Worlds, his
Yeah.
marriage, and he
movie.
did not
movie.
like thinking that his PR could affect his movie making.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since then, he has only been the absolute man in
Yeah.
every movie.
Yes.
His characters are completely unflawed.
Yeah.
Like their biggest flaw is and he's not married. Like
Can you believe that?
every movie, he is the absolute man. And I think he
Yeah.
actually fell in love with being a producer more than an actor.
I think that's a fair point. Yeah.
And I think that's ending.
yeah.
I don't think he's producing this Inarritu movie.
but I know he has a deal with Warner Brothers where he's like he's
like
in
a
cahoots.
soft deal?
Yeah. I think it's like, and that's what this movie with old Alejandro is with Warner Brothers. It's like the first of this, but I don't know, it's not, it may be like a first look thing, but it's like a partnership, but I'm sure he could go elsewhere if he wanted.
That deal, the way how vaguely it was described, was like asking a girl for her number at a bar, and she's like, "Here's my Instagram." Like, all right, maybe we'll chat.
Cool. I'll like some of your pictures, I guess.
It's like Warner Brothers announces they sort of know Tom Cruise.
I mean, the news of the last couple of months is really, it's been like him and McHugh talking, like Days of Thunder 2, Top Gun 3. And I'm like,
I would see Days of Thunder too.
Yeah.
I would obviously see it. I think it would be a bad idea. I mean, I guess in theory, maybe this is hearsay to some. I prefer Maverick to the original Top Gun.
Yeah, me too.
Definitely. So it is possible I could prefer Days of Lightning to Days of Thunder, but
the final thunder.
Yeah. Storm fronts approaching. I could definitely, but I think the sell on getting people back for Days of Thunder is a lot looser than a Top Gun follow up.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's just like, it feels like him and McHugh are like, we can exhaust these if we want, but I know that I'd love to see them take a crack at something else, just
a little more drama.
Yeah, a little more. I'd love to see him go back to like a little bit more dramatic, because he's got the chops, man. He's incredible. Like his 99 being Eyes Wide Shut and Magnolia is like unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, my
movies.
favorite. It's funny because I don't associate the Mission movies and Top Gun Maverick and even like Edge of Tomorrow, which you just watched.
I did just watch it.
Oblivion, Mummy,
Yeah.
American Made.
When they have the mutual orgasm as the plane has turbulence, which is the one thing you should know from that movie. But
Thanks for telling me.
I've seen it twice.
it's
I've seen that
I
scene
kind of
3
like
times.
that movie.
I like that movie
The
a lot.
problem is that Narcos, which is on at the same time, basically said that's not true, and everyone was like, we believe Narcos, because they talked about Barry Seal in that show.
Wagner Moore, we stand with you.
Yeah. And I think Tom Cruise is like, listen, I just want to get up in some fucking planes, guys. Yeah. Who cares about this? But those movies are like, to me, disassociated from, if you're like, what's your favorite Cruise movies? Because then I'm like, Few Good Men, or The Firm, which I mentioned before. I like that. And I feel like those are like Tom Cruise vehicles where these movies are like Tom Cruise productions almost.
Yeah.
And I think he does. He wants it that way.
Yeah.
But I mean, if we want to talk favorite cruises, our top cruises.
Yeah. What's the best cruise you've ever taken? Yeah.
Probably my top cruise is probably Rain Man.
Oh, really? Okay.
I gotta rewatch it.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it might be cheesy now, but
I don't know.
it invented kind of that. But
it's elite styling. It's like he looks so cool in that movie.
Selling foreign cars.
Selling the car.
Trying to.
The music's great.
Yeah.
One of the best acting performances ever is Dustin Hoffman, and he complements it even better. Like that's probably my top cruise.
Okay.
Some incredible acting in there. Yeah.
Magnolia is great. His role
is great. Yeah.
I can't say that's my favorite Tom Cruise movie. That movie's wild. But
yeah, it's all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say those. Well, we don't have to go through all his movies, but
Sure.
that's
so
probably
not American Made.
That's somewhere up. It's in the top 10. I like that.
Towards the top. Yeah.
I think that like I think there's like not gonna be, and this is kind of into my pitch of like what I want to do is like I don't think that you could put the genie back in the bottle with he's just gonna make like Collateral again.
I think
We haven't even mentioned Collateral yet, but like
which is great.
That would be up there
epic
for me
shit.
too.
Yeah.
I love Collateral.
I heard recently that was one of the first movies shot digitally.
It was.
Yeah.
You can feel it too.
Yeah,
There's like
they haven't figured it out. Yeah, but it complements it.
It does. It's
yeah.
so weird. Same thing with Miami Vice because that's what Man did after. And like both those movies, like at the time, you're like, what the fuck am I looking at? I would imagine.
Yeah.
Now you're like, that's fucking sick, dude.
It's like
yeah.
borderline camcorder footage.
It's crazy, dude. Yeah.
That's a great movie.
It really works, and I think it's honestly because they didn't really know what they were doing. They're like, it kind of feels like they're like applying film principles, like shooting on film to digital, whereas now they'd be like those we don't need the extra steps. Like we can get away with, like and the cameras are stronger.
I think it's Cruise's best performance out of anything. It's not my favorite Cruise movie, but I think it's his best performance. He goes off character and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that he'll never go back to that specifically. Although there is some gunfire in that movie. He's going he's going action. Yeah.
It's
crazy.
And it is the type, like, even though it is a villain role, it's still like an extremely charismatic
Well, that's
role.
what makes it work.
Yeah, it's like I mean, you initially are like, I mean, this guy has silver fox hair, but I think he's kind of sick. And then you're like, he's a bad
What does he
dude.
say? What does he say to him? He's like, I Ching, or what does he say to him in the back?
In Collateral?
Yeah. I just watched it. I do love when he's talking about the guy who died on the subway. He's like, a guy died on the subway, rode around the city for hours after. I'm like, Jesus, man. I think about that all the time now. I think about it all the time. I feel like Tom Cruise in Collateral a lot at night when I'm in LA.
Oh, and if I'm driving downtown, that's all I think about.
And what's funny is that we were talking about the Conor O'Malley video that came out.
Yeah,
where I'm just like, dude, he's just straight up doing the
Yeah.
I've not seen the Conor O'Malley.
You got to check it out.
It's a play on Collateral.
He's kind of just doing the like everyone's alone in the city.
He's doing like the man. It's good.
But like I don't think he'll go back to that. But I also don't think he'll ever hang off a cliff like that. Maybe again. I think that there's going to be some version of a hybrid, or he'll go further than hanging off the plane.
This goes into my pitch.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I have an answer to this question you have.
You got
beautiful.
the answer.
I literally have the answer to this.
That's cool.
The one thing I'll say, and I think I'll text Tanner to bring him in here. Who's been noticeably silent and noticeably absent from this episode.
What time do we start?
I don't know when we
this is a running bit.
We're probably like 40 minutes in, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, we're doing great.
Yeah. We've actually never recorded a better episode. I'm curious to see like if Tom starts going back to seeking out like specific filmmakers, like he starts hitting like he's like, he's getting up there a little bit and he's like, I want to find some guys to work with, kind of check them off a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of pull a driver where he's like, just give me all the guys that are going down. Let me do one round with them and then I'll get out of there. Like,
dude, Driver and Cruise in a movie together would be pretty insane.
Would be awesome.
Him and Jeremy Strong and Cruise, like that.
Too intense.
That'd be crazy.
That production would be tough.
We are the gold standard.
I mean,
it's about art.
For a while, it was like the whole the whole rumor was that Tarantino's movie was going to be a cruise vehicle.
He's had so much to say about Cruise over the years. And they've never worked together.
That project, obviously. I mean, the whole, I think it was a Hollywood Reporter article that came out about that was that seemed to reveal that actually there was nothing there. That was like truly just like QT likes him, Tom Cruise likes him. That's kind of it. And we're running out of time for these guys to work together.
For both.
Yeah. And like I think everybody would like to see it happen. And I think that it would be a perfect pairing because also QT's movies exist out of time in the first place. And I think Tom Cruise is also like exists out of time where it's like the Mission Impossible movies and Top Gun, like these movies work in such a strong way because they don't feel current in a way. Like they may be tackling the entity, bringing him down to justice, but they feel like callbacks to other movies while also like reinventing the formula for the future. And because they're so like apolitical or like unspecific in certain ways, like they feel like movies that exist in like an alternate dimension. So it's kind of like you can't really put Cruise in like you couldn't put Cruise in a Baumbach movie.
I was gonna say like you want to put Cruise in like a Kelly Reichardt movie.
Yeah, like you couldn't put Cruise in The Mastermind, though I wish you could.
Is that the Josh O'Connor one?
Yeah, him and Alana Haim.
Movie's $20 million opus.
Coming to 9 theaters everywhere. I'll be in all of them.
I agree with you, man. But like, I just think that like him working with Iñárritu and even like Doug Liman again, maybe on SpaceX, whatever.
Yeah.
Live, Die, Repeat. I think that like these are not Christopher McQuarrie or Joe Kosinski. Like, not that those guys aren't like huge directors, but they're not like auteur names at all. And that's kind of why I think he chose to work with those guys for a long time. And it does feel like a shift. Like he's working with filmmakers now.
Yeah.
I think
Tarantino.
I think he comes out with. I don't think Gen Z likes that. What you were saying. They don't like this I'm the perfect man guy.
Yeah. They don't.
They like self-awareness. They like irony. And I think he will. And I'm not going to spoil my pitch.
Here we go.
I think he'll lean into that.
Yeah.
And I think he should.
I think you should too.
And in this era of nostalgia, which is everything's a remake, Brendan Fraser's winning Best Actor.
Yeah.
Like, he wants to tap into that. But how do you do it without being the man?
Yeah.
Is going to be what his task is.
Top Gun touched on that. Like he was perfect in that.
Yeah, he's just not married. They're just like, how come you never fought in the war? I don't know. I love flying planes.
What he's like, he's like, Captain. It's like one of life's greatest mysteries, sir. Yeah. But I think like the Gen Z thing is really smart. Something Will and I mentioned before, where it's like, does Tom Cruise, like whatever he does next, obviously matters for us three.
Yes,
because we're sickos. But like, do people? How old are you? Sorry,
28.
Sorry to just publicly put your
Jesus
information.
Christ, man.
All right, like we got 26, 28, like mid 20s.
Yeah.
Our parents were Cruise fans in the 90s. Like we're around Cruise. People like 8 years younger than us. Or 10 years, like, do they give a fuck about what Tom Cruise does at 64 years old?
He's only been the man. He's only been action. Like, when are these kids born? When, like, Connor Bedard's born in 05, right?
Yeah.
Good reference there.
Good reference. So he's born.
Connor Bedard, what are you watching these days?
I'm getting into Magnolia. It's like 05. So these kids are born in 05. What is he making in 05? It's like...
He's making War of the Worlds.
War of the Worlds. And
he's tanking his reputation.
But no, it's a good movie. But
yeah, it is.
He hasn't...
Yeah.
He was already past trying to win an Oscar. Mm-hmm. And so they're like, oh, yeah, that's the action guy who's still doing it.
I think these mission movies have a way better appeal to people not younger than us. I mean, I even have friends who are a couple years younger than me who are like, I don't give a fuck about these movies. And they can go like, I don't like Tom Cruise because they know celebrity Tom Cruise is like kind of like monk weirdo, but they don't know like... Sorry, Tom Cruise. But they don't know like...
sorry.
They don't know movies. And then I go, sit down. Watch Rain Man. Watch
Cocktail.
Please watch Cocktail.
Watch 10 minutes of Cocktail.
Awesome.
Wow, Bartender Poet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sit down and I'll pour you a shot. Bar's open.
Young people they're not watching movies from the 80s. Like
Yeah, but then you show them to one, like
they
a
love
Cruise
it,
one,
but
and
like,
they're like, I actually kind of like this guy now.
they're just straight up not watching those.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was one of the best is one of the best actors, but like was just consistently nominated for awards in that time. So
They've only seen Night and Day.
yeah.
Which is a horrible entry. I fear for them.
That's what Bedard saw.
Yeah.
Bedard.
I fear for the generation.
Connor
that grew
Bedard
up.
was like, I was on the road in Ottawa, put on Night and Day. I didn't like it very much. He's pumping out Valkyrie.
It's just my favorite. Oh yeah, I forgot about Valkyrie. That was cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's very true. I mean, because we haven't seen, I think Cruise the last non-IP sequel is
American made.
Is that that's a original?
Well, I looked before this. I was like, when's the last thing that?
It's a Limania movie.
Yeah,
it was a Limania. It was that, and then before that, I forgot what it was.
Probably The Mummy, but that was a remake.
That's
Jack Reacher. That was the first one they made of that. Oblivion was right around there.
I guess Oblivion, and then would be that, because I think that's
Rock of Ages around there too.
Yeah. It's like, for the last 10 to 15 years, he's pretty solidly entrenched into Ethan Hunt.
Yeah.
He's got a couple of reachers in there, a couple of one-offs, and Top Gun. And it's like, I think now people that have grown up with that associate him in probably a super similar category as like a Chris Evans or a Chris Hemsworth. It's like he pops up in this series of movies.
Yeah,
like
that's so crazy though.
Which is crazy to be like, Jerry Maguire's Chris Evans to you. I like Chris, but like Tom's bad.
Wait till you see The Materialist, Will.
I can't wait.
So we got these. I'm just going to list off the movies. Got the Inarritu, and then in development, if they'll ever make it, Live, Die, Repeat, and Repeat. That's the name of the sequel.
I think they will never make that.
They just put that on there as a joke, just to put Live, Die, Repeat, and Repeat.
Yeah, I think
we got Broad's World, which is a Christopher McQuarrie and McHugh directed movie, and this is casted with him, Cavill, Cotillard, Marion Cotillard.
Oh.
So we got that one. That's about it's a World War II movie.
Cool.
And then there's another McHugh movie in development called The Gauntlet, which is him and ScarJo.
Interesting.
And this is
that's a pretty good pairing.
A detective must transport a witness to testify against a mobster.
ScarJo is supposed to be in MI3.
Oh, really?
And the making of MI3 is really interesting. I was just looking this up the other day, where it was going to be Fincher directing.
That's unbelievable.
Then it was going to be Joe Carnahan, fresh off of Narc.
Yeah,
good movie.
You just pitched a movie to Joe Carnahan
because he's good. Yeah. And that all fell through, and the cast was Kenneth Branagh was in that. I think Kenneth Branagh was the Davies, like the
Owen Davies.
Yeah,
it's great.
And then it was ScarJo, and then there was a rumor that Simon Pegg says this is not true, but he says that Ricky Gervais, or it has been reported Ricky Gervais was supposed to be Benji.
He would be so shit at that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then it's like, man, you guys dodged a fucking bullet on that one. But
that would be so annoying.
But that movie was in
3 Ricky Gervais though. That he could have changed his entire career because he could just be Simon Pegg now. You know what I mean?
He could be.
Yeah.
But yeah, that movie was in development for 5 years, and then came around because Carnahan was on the movie for 17 months, and then they broke.
Yeah.
And Cruise got Abrams. He was like, I like Alias.
I like JJ
a lot
because he does the same style with Star Trek, where it's up on people's noses to eyes, and it's moving around a lot.
I love that first Star Trek, but that's a side note.
We can do 10 minutes on it.
Anyway, those are the movies in development though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those sound pretty actiony.
They all do. Yeah.
Whatever that movie is.
The Inarritu one, by the way, is I said it's a comedy, but it's the most powerful man in the world causes a disaster and embarks upon a mission to prove that he is the savior of humanity. Weirdly similar to Final Reckoning there.
Yeah.
But,
yes.
I mean, it's right up his alley for sure. I mean, it's
Clemens is in this movie too.
He's just like Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah. I mean, it is
Owen Davies' son.
I mean, old Alejandro could pull that off. I mean, that's very
sleepy Alejandro.
Old tired Alejandro. That's in the Birdman and Birdman vibe.
Maybe kind of a self-aware story.
Yeah. Little Bardo in there for you. Little dash of Bardo for the folks at home. I mean, I think it'll be just so fascinating because he's obviously still going to be a major draw for filmmakers to be like, give me Cruise.
Oh, of course.
Book me Cruise.
Yeah.
I just think it'll be so interesting to see because we've seen guys that are younger than we've seen Adam Driver try to be like, I'm the guy. And repeatedly people are like, you're not the guy, or at least these projects don't make you the guy. It's as much as I like Adam Driver and I love him.
Yeah.
Every time he does a movie, it's like he's getting stuck with this thing of he's not selling at the box office. It's like, well, Megalopolis doesn't sell at the box office ever. He just must like Coppola a lot and was like, sure.
Driver ain't that guy.
That's why that's why Tom Cruise is so. He's
no Cruise.
This is one of one. Like,
yes,
no one has been able to sell this much for this long.
No.
Yeah.
And like, there is a day where we might go, oh, whatever happened to Timothy Chalamet? Like, it might happen.
Yeah.
That never happened to Tom Cruise.
That's how quickly Hollywood works.
There was never a moment where people are like, what is Tom Cruise up to? Everyone's like, oh, he's doing this right now.
It's determination. I mean, like we said, he had stinker streaks, and then there's no replacing at 40 years in movies like saving the movies.
Yeah.
Like, that's incredible shit. Because he makes Fallout. Everyone's like, oh shit, Tom Cruise reminded us that he's Tom Cruise. And then he had the juice from that to be like, we're holding on this movie until the world, it gets back in theaters.
yeah,
And then it happened. We're like, oh, he's golden for life. I mean, it's
unreal.
It's unreal. I think that in a world where there's cachet for effortlessness, you're like, how does that? I don't know how she does it.
yeah.
How do you make everything look easy? That's what we love telling them. We want to be that person. We want to be the Clooney or the Pitt or something like that. Cruise, though, make sure you knows that he gives a shit.
Yeah.
You were almost watching him produce as you are watching him act. And it's just like, there's something incredibly refreshing. I think that's why people like Chalamet, for example.
Yeah.
When he did the SAG speech where he's like, I fucking want to win all of these. I was like, that's pretty Cruise-like.
Feels
dude.
like he really cares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that is what people will get past all of the weirdness about him, is because they're like, man, I don't know what it is about this person that makes him so obscure in his personal life, but all of that leads to like this poetry on screen of this guy being like, my life, as you said, leads to this moment.
He's like, it's like, I keep comparing him to athletes, but it's like Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
He's like
obsessed.
I don't think he has hobbies. I think it's just movie.
Like
the same
Julius
way
Randle.
Kobe was just basketball.
Very Julius Randle like.
It's very Julius Randle.
Yeah.
It's true. It's really true.
I think he just is literally, this is it. It's movies. And like, I'm not going to say other actors don't have that, but it's just like, who else is thinking about movies this much?
Nobody. I mean, there was a story in the Letterboxd video that him and McHugh did, which I recommend if you guys want to check it out later. But like they're talking about the plane hang in Rogue Nation, and he's saying like McHugh was like, oh, like that'd be funny if you hung off that thing, and he's like, yeah, that would be cool. And then he asked the Boeing people and all these like people is like, just what if I hung off that military? Just hypothetically, what would that look like? And they're like, you can't do that. And then McHugh is like, oh, you've obviously never, this is your first Tom Cruise movie. You've never worked on a Tom Cruise movie. No is not an answer in any of his movies. You see it on screen.
You do.
Find a way,
Yeah. He had like contacts in his eyes because like the wind is so strong, it dries out your eyes in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
He can't see anything during that. Like he can't hear anything. Everything's ADR. Obviously you can't record that.
Yeah.
And he's 60 years old.
Before we get into the pitches, do you guys think I'm like Tom Cruise at all? Like, do you see any of that?
I think physically, yes.
Okay.
Like,
I've seen you on the pool table.
Yeah.
And I think there's more, but less work than I need on the pool table.
A little more Eddie than Vince. Huh? Okay, fair enough.
You're not fast, Eddie. No, I think you're when it comes to setting up this podcast and getting this podcast out, you will stop at nothing, and I think that's very Cruise-like of you, Will. Yeah. And you too, Tanner.
Nope.
That's Tom Cruise.
Oh, we got two Cruises here.
God, it's vintage Cruise. Tom, you heard what I just said.
About you being like me?
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at you, and it feels like I'm looking at myself.
That's bad for you. I'll tell you that right now.
Picture this. You're at work. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Who friggin' knows? And then ding, an email comes into the inbox. It's the Pioneer newsletter. You read through it. You say, God damn, if that wasn't a cold cocktail for my inbox. Sign up today at thepioneer.online. That's thepioneer.online. All right, back to the show.
Well, you've been working, Tom, in this same building. You've been doing a lot of work, but you've graciously given us a couple of moments. I know you're a busy man.
Yeah.
To come hear us pitch movies to the future of Tom Cruise?
Yeah, it's going to be like 65 when these movies come out.
Yeah.
One question before we get into the pitch question.
Yeah, of course.
Where did we land on the movie? Just like, give me a Roger Ebert thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs up, thumbs up.
It's
I
like
think
this.
3 thumbs up.
This is the trajectory for me on this movie. Wait, this is a podcast. I forgot. I'm going down, 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 a little bit up, down, down, up, down, up, bang, really high.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
We all liked it.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's some unforgivable shit, but then there's some all-time shit.
I mean, they made a fucking movie, dude. What do you fucking want from me?
Tanner on this podcast proclaimed, not Tom, Tanner on this podcast proclaimed 2 weeks ago that Will and I, quote, hate all big budget movies.
Not this one.
Yeah.
This was
I was a little
first
offended
exception.
by that.
All right. So if we're done with slandering this Tanner guy, who sounds awesome, got to be hung like a fucking donkey.
Hung like a Tom Cruise, am I right?
Let's get into the pitch question. So for people who have never listened to the pod before, Ryan, looking at you, we ask a question at the beginning of the pitches so that we see who pitches first. And the question today is, and I'm going to ask it in character, how fast was my lap at the Daytona Speedway for practicing on the set of Days of Thunder?
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Thanks.
Cool, Tom.
See the energy.
I don't know how fast.
sucking
Like,
the
I don't even know what it's. Yeah, how fast is that?
I think it's like 22 seconds.
How fast is that? Is actually the question.
That's my guess.
You're 22 seconds?
22 seconds.
Okay, so I should specify. We're
You want
looking
miles per hour.
Miles per hour.
Okay.
Oh.
Easy.
So how
Or
fast is
for
it going?
someone like from where you're from, we can do kilometers. I don't know that much. I don't know that much about you. But no, let's do miles
you
per
and
hour.
Bedard are always in the metric system.
Me and Bedard are
Yeah.
best.
So Will,
Kelvin,
you're
too.
saying
Give me 311 miles per hour.
311 miles per hour.
Feels like a
Ryan,
rocket.
119.
119.
Feels close.
I
And
was
Matt.
clearly not listening to the question when you said the speed thing. I'm gonna go.
Just go in the middle.
I'm gonna go like 220. Yeah, 220.
Okay,
I think I'm
220.
way off.
You might be F1
you are.
speeds. You're
You
at
are.
pit speeds right now.
Yeah.
Sunny. What's his name? Dusty.
Sonny D.
Sonny Dykes, head coach of the TCU Horned Frogs. Continue.
So the correct answer is 205 miles per hour,
Yeah,
which
nice.
already pretty fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
I haven't even gone half that speed.
Sunny Hayes.
But I have a Nissan, so different story.
But similar also.
So that means Matt's going to be going first.
Cool.
And then it's kind of hard for me to figure out the math between Will and Ryan. So I'm just going to let Ryan go first.
Okay.
And
So we'll just go in this order.
yeah,
From around the horn.
Sure. And the pitch stitch, which is something you have to include in your pitch, is that Ving Rhames needs a role in this movie.
Awesome.
But
Okay.
he's got to be able to sit down the entire time.
Thank you. I thought you were going the other way. I thought you were going to be like, but he has to stand up.
But you have to dance.
He stood up more in this movie than he ever has, by the way. He's sitting down in a van, by the way, in all of these movies for
Yeah.
10 minutes, like you said. Tanner, I assure you will see a standing Ving Rhames in this movie.
No, you got that wrong.
Tom.
No,
is it.
sorry. In the Mission Impossible movie,
Okay,
you'll
okay.
see a standing Ving Rhames.
But in
My
your movie,
you're not going to see the bottom of his legs. Man.
Yeah.
Yes. Fuck yeah.
This is Born on the 4th of July with Ving Rhames,
Yeah.
the starring role.
all right. So we're going.
All right.
Matt, Ryan, Will. Are we ready?
We're ready.
I'm ready.
Go.
Okay, so this was kind of an interesting time talking about our pitches before we pitch, because usually we try to bottle them up till the end, but this is a lot of fun.
Hold on. Wait for this siren
Yeah.
to pass. I'll pause your timer, but it's not going to happen again.
My movie's called The Ambulance Driver.
What?
And Ving Rhames is the
hired
driver. He's the passenger.
I'm getting an ambulance idea.
Pull over here, Ethan.
All right. Are you? Whoa. That plays in audio form. All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Go.
All right, so my movie is called, I was just changing the name of my movie as I was going. Tom Cruise, future movie. It's all about family for him. That's why this movie is called Family.
Bang.
Wow.
So here's where I see Cruise in the future. Like I said, he's not going to go full Lions for Lambs mode or, full character drama. He's also, I don't think, going to do the stunt-focused Mission Impossible movie again. And I think you're going to but still find him want to comment on his own mythology in his movies. And he's done the comment on movie star Tom Cruise and Top Gun Maverick. I think this was a little bit of a comment on like the more personal side of him in this movie in a lot of ways, where it's like he's like the all-seeing power and stuff, which was a little unsettling, but we don't need to get into that. And I think the last bastion of something that Tom Cruise would like to vaguely comment about on screen is family. He's obviously had a tumultuous family life. We're not going to get into that on the pod or in the movie.
Like me, Katie Holmes.
Yes. But I think that's like kind of like the core basis for he wants to make a movie about dealing with family strife and conviction and getting over challenges and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the way I have this movie planning out is it's like super, super, super mellow. Yeah, I'm just going to explain it to you. So,
Okay.
William Silverstone. I use Silverstone Racing. I don't know. I thought he'd like that.
Cool.
William Silverstone is like a Richard Branson type of guy. He's a billionaire. He's an extreme sport guy. He's very Tom Cruise-ish, right? But he's like a billionaire, all right? And he is he's like an absent father. His family kind of left and stuff like that. Not absent, like he's never seen his kids, but they just don't have a big relationship to him. And here's the first big twist. He tells his kids, "I'm dying." Tom Cruise dying in a fucking movie?
No way.
He says, "I'm dying."
Don't say
And because of that, in a very Succession-y type way, his kids finally agree to meet him. And his kids are played by Jeremy Allen White, Rooney Mara, and Greta Lee. Greta Lee's adopted. But his kids are coming in, and they're finally agreeing to meet them. They're coming from different walks of life over to the compound to meet up with their dad. And the way I see this is it's like a character drama for most of it, but it's not happening in a ski chalet or a mansion or a yacht. We're going to the next level. William Silverstone, he's like, fuck it. I own a blimp. All right.
Whoa.
So this is like, and I want to set this up where you're like, oh, it's a disaster movie. Oh, it's a Tom Cruise action sequel. But we're holding so long.
Oh, yeah.
That it's like Chekhov's blimp. You know what I mean? We're like literally like,
Is this thing going to crash?
yeah, be like, I paid to come here to watch this shit crash. And for the longest time, it's like a kitchen sink drama about like Jeremy Allen White is like the bartender and he's blaming like a lot of his personal stuff on Cruise. And then like Greta Lee is like, you know, like killing it in like a lot of the ways that her father killed it. And like, she's got different issues. It's very Succession-y in that way, but they're not all evil. It's a good-hearted nature. And then Rooney Mara is like, I don't know. She's like kind of like a shivish type. Yeah, I like all that. And we're going on. We're just like, am I just watching like a character drama between these people dealing with their father's issues and stuff like that? And it's like goes on and on and on and on. And then right at the breaking point of where you think that they're going to resolve some shit, it goes all is lost mode with Robert Redford.
Wow.
And then that blimp motherfucking crashes. And we got a blimp disaster. And Tom Cruise commenting on the Tom Cruise-ness of himself is like, listen, kids, I wanted to be there for you. I really did. And I tried in every way. But there's just something about me that keeps putting me in situations where I have to save people from blimp disasters.
Wow.
And
little on the nose, but
and that's sort of like his goal, and he saves the day. I see like, all right, two stunts I see in this movie.
Copy.
The blimp, right? It's like it like rips apart, right? And he's got to hang off the bars of the blimp, obviously, because that's like a different. He's climbing up the fucking blimp and shit. 65 years old. You're like, I don't know. This is not. And his kids are like, we're doing this again, really? And he's like, kids, remember when we rock climbed that one time? That was 30 years ago, Dad. And the second stunt I have is with Ving Rhames.
You have 3 seconds. 2.
Sorry, I'm on
1.
I'm sorry, I got to say it after.
Yeah.
Ving Rhames. Of course.
Doesn't really matter.
Ving Rhames is in a wheelchair, so he's sitting.
Yes.
But he's going to fucking fly through the air, baby.
Yes.
He's like he's like his like butler
Cool.
guy. Not like butler, but he's like his like assistant of sorts, yeah. And he's like, Ving is staying with me till the end, right? But he's in this blimp, so he's like rolling around when it's going down and shit. And I like a whole like tether situation where Ving is like in a chair, strapped in, holding on, and then Tom Cruise is holding on to the wheel. It sounds sillier than it's gonna play.
Sure.
But, and don't fucking laugh at me when I say this.
Yeah,
I switched my answer because originally I had Catherine Bigelow doing this.
Okay.
because I like the interpersonal turns disasterness that she can deal with.
Yeah.
Imagine if Paul Thomas Anderson made this movie.
It'd be a pure comedy.
I think it would be exactly the tone of comedy Cruise's, because he's doing this comedy with Iñárritu, classic McKay type comedy director, Alfonso Iñárritu.
Yeah.
But
Funny or Die co-founder.
yeah, Iñárritu. But and I was also thinking, I'm going way over, sorry. And then I was also thinking,
I hate the clock.
he's doing the him and McCube talking about doing a Tropic Thunder, Les Grossman movie.
I see that.
He's interested in this shit, man.
Yeah.
Voice
definitely
the
is.
clock shouldn't
Yeah.
be a part of it.
Yeah, so that's family. You're like, is this a family movie or is this a blimp disaster movie? It's a
Should've called
family
it-
movie.
Should have called it the Hindenburg too.
Yeah.
Be like, I mean,
Final bird.
obviously it was going down. They named it the Hindenburg too.
That is the only vehicle we have not seen him hang from or save or
A family
operate.
drama.
Yeah, family.
Yeah.
He's not operated a family yet. No, I mean like people are like Tom Cruise, blimp. You're like, I've seen him in cars, planes, motorcycles,
Fat
pools.
suits.
Yeah. What did you say?
Fat suits.
Fat suits,
Yeah.
pool cues,
Yeah.
blimps.
Blimps are new
Anyway.
territory. I like that.
That's family.
Cool.
It's about the Silverstones.
Yeah.
I loved it. I think my favorite part was the part when Ving Rhames was indeed sitting down.
Yeah. But he's also flying.
Flying, mobile. I mean, you're really taking it to new heights. But
Yeah, thank you.
Literally. You can use that. All right. So,
Ving goes nuclear.
all right. So,
Ethan.
Ryan, your turn. Are you ready?
I'm nervous.
No. Are
No.
you ready?
Yeah, but
Go.
Okay. All right. Okay. Tom Cruise.
Bingo.
Your next movie, which is your Oscar-winning role,
Thank you.
Solid pitch.
is a film called Ego Death. Can I say the director or not yet?
You could do however you want.
Great. Directed by Todd Phillips,
What?
known for directing The Joker to an Oscar as well. The log line of this movie is a man becomes so obsessed with his longtime rival that he hatches a plan to take over his life and identity. Tom Cruise, you are playing Ernie, a fat, bald, lazy manager of a Starbucks inside of a Target. Ernie, you failed as an actor. The closest you got to stardom was when you were the second choice in an action movie in the 80s. Who got the role was Dave Lovelight, who is played by Tom Cruise.
Oh my God.
Tom Cruise plays two roles. He plays the successful version of himself and the failed version of himself. Losing that role is something that ate Ernie up forever, and he never got over the jealousy of it until one day, Dave Lovelight, movie star, comes into the Starbucks inside of the Target, and they connect. And they reconnect once again and discover that Lovelight has this desperation for normal interaction, and Ernie has this burning hatred for him that turns into a relationship that they bring outside of the Starbucks, inside of the Target. And Ernie just becomes obsessed with this man that has been eating away at his brain forever. As they get closer in their friendship, Ernie starts poisoning Dave Lovelight. Poisons his food and his hair gel. So he starts losing his hair, getting fatter, while Ernie starts losing weight. And eventually, as Ernie becomes skinnier and healthier, Dave becomes worse and worse, and they eventually are in the same zone. And both versions of Tom Cruise look the exact same. And their identities meld into one. It's like I said, it's like evil Mean Girls.
Interesting.
And eventually, Ernie overtakes Lovelight and decides that he's going to kill him. As Lovelight descends in health, and Ernie descends into madness, Dave Lovelight dies. But with his death, Ernie has ego death because his entire personality was based on this guy he was jealous of. And he goes absolutely insane, and he cannot function without his rival. Completely descends into madness and returns to the Starbucks inside of the Target as a madman and a loser, with a soundtrack by Simon and Garfunkel. And Ving Rhames is the customer in the wheelchair that comes in every time.
We're crippling Ving.
Mobile. Nope.
Wow.
Yeah, that was incredible.
That was
Cool.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
And
We're on a twins run here.
Yeah, we are.
listen, I don't want to give anything away too soon, but having one actor play multiple guys in a movie, that's Tom Cruise kryptonite. I love that shit.
Because he can still be the man,
Yeah.
He can be cool Tom Cruise, and he can be that Oscar-winning performance.
It is, yeah.
Not the man.
Now, I have a couple questions just about the movie. One, is the guy still famous today?
Dave Lovelight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And two, actually, you know what? That answers the other question. Cool. Round of applause.
Can I put you on the spot, Ryan, for a second?
Yeah. Unfortunately, no. I thought you were talking to me.
Can I ask you to do a quick scene where Tom Cruise or Sir Dave is talking to Ernie in this movie?
Yeah.
just to kind of preview it for us here.
So he walks in.
He
walks into the Starbucks inside the Target, and Ernie turns white.
Yeah.
Because, oh my God, it's Dave. And he goes, wait a second. You're Ernie Davidson. We auditioned for that movie together. How are you? Amazing. Good to see you. And then it's like the other side is like, good.
So Cruise himself is doing some voice work.
Yeah.
In this movie.
It's two different guys.
I connect with good guy.
Yeah. Good guy was cool.
What can I get you?
Hell yeah, good guy. Ask him what you can get him.
It's so good to see you, man. Dude. Nitro cold brew.
Dude, that was an all-time impression.
Oh, I like the nitro part of it. It really added.
Tom would do nitro.
He goes nitro.
Do you think Tom Cruise drinks coffee?
I don't know. Probably not.
Have you ever seen him in a real situation before? I feel like he's either drinking coffee or doing cocaine.
Yeah, I think he's one of these guys. He's just like
that on
life,
camera?
man.
He might just be like Steve Irwin, just like life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's kind of one of those guys.
Will, how are you feeling about your pitch?
Hit me.
Bang, go.
Okay. My movie for Tom Cruise to do. Tom, you listening?
Hey.
Okay. My movie is called Tinseltown. Yeah. It's directed by Alfonso Cuarón.
Nice.
Sorry. After a run-in with the log line. After a run-in with a supposed paranormal being that nearly kills him, graveyard shift security officer Frank Morales, played by Wagner Moura. Yeah, I brought Moura in here. Teams up with stage manager of American Premier Studios Harry Price, played by Tom Cruise, to try and capture proof of the ghost's existence in an attempt to solve a decades-old unsolved murder on the studio lot, and the death of a promising young starlet from the 1950s. So yes, you. Your name is Jean Whitlow, 1950s up-and-coming young actress, is killed in her bungalow on the American Premier Studios lot in the golden age of Hollywood. She dies mysteriously, remains unsolved to this day, until one night when classic, graveyard shift, Frank Morales, Wagner Moura, hot off The Secret Agent at Cannes, Civil War from last year,
Escobar, as we mentioned earlier.
obviously from Narcos, is doing his rounds one night late on the lot. He's got like the easiest job in the world. Frank is not a movie guy. He just does this for work. He has seen, I'd like to think, 3 movies. He's seen Forrest Gump. He's seen Executive Decision with Kurt Russell and Tommy Lee Jones. And he's seen Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy 347 times. He has a family to feed. He works the nights at the studios. It's easy until one night he hears a rumbling inside of stage 27. And he's like, what the rats. Must be rats. He goes in there. The door locks behind him. The lights are shut off. And it's like a 10-minute sequence. He's scared shitless. He thinks he's going to, shit's going on. And he's like, I've been punked by a fucking ghost. And the next morning he goes to security and he goes to chief of security, Ving Rhames. Let's call him Dave Security. And
what does he do at the security desk?
he just sits there.
Hell yeah. Okay, keep going.
He doesn't fucking move, man. He is stuck to that seat.
Just had to make sure.
And he's like, guys, some crazy shit happened last night in stage 27. I think I saw a fucking ghost. And they're like, you're talking, this is bull, man. This is insane. But one of the security guards is like, you ought to talk to the stage manager here on the lot, Harry Price. That guy's just as fucking nutty as you are. You go talk to him. And he finds Harry Price, which is Tom Cruise. He's a good looking guy. He looks like Tom Cruise. He probably could have been an actor if he wasn't such a friggin' dork. All right. And he probably tried to be before he jumped down the rabbit hole of Hollywood's golden age and got stuck in the past. He knows everything that you can possibly know about American Premiere Studios. The past, the present, all the gossip, all the facts. The only thing he doesn't know is who killed rising young starlet Jean Whitlow. Now, they lock into each other. He tells me, he's like, something crazy happened in stage 27. And he's instantly like, you saw her, didn't you? She's been there before. I've seen her. She won't talk to me, but maybe she'll talk to you. And he's like, what are you talking about? What the fuck is, what is this? He's like, I don't know. It was really weird. And ultimately, it becomes this movie where the two of them, Harry wants to solve this case. And we come to find out that Harry is really weird. Like he's just one of those guys that's obsessed with old Hollywood. And you're like, old Hollywood is really, really interesting. But sometimes it can become like, you're like, you're too deep into this. Like that was 70 years ago. Yeah. Like let's move on. And Frank ultimately is like, you think if we like caught proof of this on camera, kind of like in Nope, like if we caught proof of this, could I get like really rich and famous off of this and like never have to work the graveyard shift ever again? And Harry's like, I didn't just hear that. I heard you want to solve the Jean Whitlow murder. And he's like, sure, yeah, okay. So this movie's like The Player meets like a little bit of like the descent into madness of like The Shining, where both of them are like going around the lot trying to like uncover who did this. And yeah, I think you start seeing like Harry, like he's imagining himself after hours, like in the 50s, like he's in Jean's bungalow and he's like talking to her and they'll start to interact with the ghost and it's going to get kind of spooky.
No.
Wow.
No.
That's Tinseltown.
Do you name a director?
Alfonso Cuarón.
Oh yeah, sorry, that was the first thing you said.
Yeah, of the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Question.
Heebie-jeebies.
Does the ghost exist in the movie?
Yes.
Who's she played by?
The ghost is played
Sorry
by
Big Raves.
Ving would be great,
I'm a
obviously.
ghost.
The ghost. Boom, motherfucker. The ghost is Emma Mackey.
Whoa.
How's that hit you?
Yeah.
My
Just
teacher?
read
Ooh, little old me.
Yeah.
Says that.
If it doesn't hit you well, I'll just put somebody else in there. I think the studio head that we'll run into eventually, aging studio head Phil Kenton is Dan Aykroyd, just
Obviously.
like throwing some zest.
You know he loves ghost shit.
Yeah, he loves ghost. He actually does love ghost shit. Yeah,
I know.
that's real. Yeah. And sorry, Tom. But yeah, that's Tinseltown, baby.
Loved it.
Oh, right on the buzzer.
That was a late buzzer.
I wouldn't
You've
even-
been counting for hours.
I hate the clock. I've always
Whatever.
hated the clock.
I'm done.
All right.
Let's talk or whatever. Fucking on board.
Do you guys have any questions for me, or do I get to finally choose which one of you guys win?
No, I got no questions, but this would be a fitting time to tell a 30-second story. Will and I met on a studio tour job. We used to work on the Sony lot doing it. And I don't mean to dox you, but you did make up a ghost story in a stage before.
I did. I have made up
Oh.
ghost stories at that lot.
Because Will used to lead the Halloween tour. That was not your decision, right?
No, I purely did it for money.
And you
was a
walked in.
bonus,
You
so you
walked
got
into
extra
27, and you said, "What was the name of the ghost?"
I said, I don't remember what I called the ghost, but I went.
It was like a silence.
It
You're like,
was,
I gotta say something.
I went in, yeah, because I had nothing. Because these people paid for a ghost
Yeah,
tour.
and let me just say, we don't make up facts about film history.
No, the film history is real, but they were billed a Halloween ghost tour.
Yeah.
And we were 4 stops in, and I was like, I got nothing. Like, I've got one ghost story. It's so weak. They're going to be pissed.
Wheel of Fortune.
And so stage 27 is where King of Queens shot a lot. And I made up a whole story about Kevin James, the crew. There was a ghost that was in the air conditioning. And I had people shaking their heads like, this is so interesting. And I had some people like, there's no way this is fucking real.
The ghost of Kevin James's cargo shorts.
And if you listen closely, you can still hear Kevin James plop down the stairs.
Is it Kevin James died?
It not quite. But yeah, King of Queens Ghost. Check it out. Stage 27 at Unnamed Studio.
Yeah, we'll bleep out the name of the studio.
Yeah.
Isn't it Sony?
Well, now we got to bleep it out again. dude.
Unbelievable.
Bleep out Sony Studio?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
that one.
Yeah.
Sony.
Okay.
So-
Oh my God. So yeah, I made up some ghost stories. I hope those people got their money's worth. I'm sure I didn't get tipped.
Yeah, I
Almost certainly didn't get tipped. Actually.
Anyway, Tanner.
All right, Tom. Whatever. Take it away.
Tom.
Tom, or me. What a great time. It's just fucking awesome. I'm glad we all liked the movie. I'm super excited to see with Parker. He's my best friend.
Tom Cruise's best friend, Parker.
Parker Davidson. He worked at Sony. It was a whole thing.
Never gonna be invited back for a live pod,
Dude.
The Tom Rothman live pod.
All right, but it was nice to see you guys. You usually end it. I don't.
No, you have to decide who won.
Did I not decide yet?
No.
You even said.
Oh, that's kook.
Pick one.
I was totally ready for the podcast. I was like, okay, let's fucking hurry this shit up.
You're crazy over
Think about
there.
this one.
He's trying to remember what each one was.
Shut up. No, I'm not. I'm going ego death. I liked ego death. Again, the key to Tom Cruise's heart is a guy playing two roles.
Yeah.
I mean, ever since I saw Tom Cruise, what's the Alien Mars Attacks, and Jack Nicholson does that, I've been in love with the concept.
That's cool.
He
That's a
plays.
cool
Remember
backstory.
when he played the old Southern congressman in Mission Impossible 1?
Oh, me? Nah, just
Remember
kidding.
that? Because they're like, you need to wear that guy's mask, but they didn't like fully have the.
Oh yeah.
And
Okay.
he's like, let me just say this about the economy.
Is it at
I'm
the
like,
beginning?
C-SPAN? Yeah. Anyway,
Ryan, well done.
Hey,
I
thank
mean,
you.
got-
I'm happy to win.
Yeah.
Does the guest win every time?
Nope.
Not every time.
Not
No.
last week.
Okay.
But they have a pretty good ratio.
No, they don't. I would say they
I think
lose.
they have a
lot.
losing record.
Oh really? I
Yes.
feel like they do have a winning
this
record.
is for the guests.
And I say that not to diminish the win of a guest, but to
Yeah.
say that a guest usually comes in here.
And gets fucking clapped.
No. I think they usually come in more prepared. I think because it's like I'm going in there, I'm winning this shit, and that's what you came in here
Yeah.
for today.
Hell yeah.
Great
Now
job, dude.
they don't always win, but you came in here and you told.
Okay, we get it.
And what I want to say about your win, firstly,
Ryan, it's been incredible having you on.
I didn't
Movies.
finish.
Movies.
Cameras.
Wow.
Lights. I love this stuff.
Dude, he's so fucking good at that. Holy shit.
Give it up for this guy. I mean, this guy's great.
Can you do an audio read of like an elevator pitch so we could just kind of loop that in? You know, well, like this is the best movie podcast.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I love these guys. Elevator pitch. I mean, these guys are talking movies. And I love movies. I'm Tom Cruise, by the way. I didn't say that. You got to check out these guys.
He's always out of breath.
Yeah, because he's laughing. Everything's such a joy.
Is he laughing or is it because he's just running?
I just got here.
Well, Ryan, this has been such a blast.
A thrill.
Yeah.
This is great.
Thank you for choosing this week because I feel like this was such a fun episode. And, yeah, man. Anything to plug, by the way?
No.
Nothing?
No. Hey, by the way, that's
We got-
my day. That's my first time doing that Tom Cruise impression on camera. So
Really?
Yo, fire
plug
off
that.
in the comments if you like that.
Yeah. No, but seriously, we are on YouTube now. So direct to camera, I'll say this. We do this. This is like 9 p.m. right now, us doing this right now.
Yeah.
This is a labor of love. And the YouTube takes a little more time. So we would really appreciate if you're listening to this on Apple or Spotify to make your way over and check us out on YouTube.
You'll like what you see.
Yeah.
Unless you didn't like what you heard,
I think it's wild to say, like, you'll love what you see.
Yeah. But anyway.
it'll be cool.
Okay.
Yeah. YouTube.
Anyway,
Give us a
Ryan.
watch. Ryan.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Yeah.
you. This
man.
is awesome.
And check him out on YouTube too.
I'm on
Tom,
YouTube.
thanks. And let's get the freak
All right, let's get out of here. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Sony.